Here we go. Got another installment of a wildly popular in the Philippines. What's going on today, your world? Move a little pot, what do we get? Oh, what do we get? We got the kitchen table, 4 chairs, white. Refrigerator, but to me, I thought that the refrigerator was all white, just didn't have the wrap on the bottom half off. But it's that color it is, white and pink. So I'll give that to the mom. Well, I asked her if she wanted it because I'm in love with this double Samsung white-faced refrigerator side by side. That what do you call it? Is that look has been around for stainless steel has been around for what 30 some years now, 40 maybe. Getting kind of old. Looking at that. Well, let's see. We got ourselves that, and the dudes had to come back the next day because we bought a like a wardrobe closet thing. Very described it. And the drawers on my side you could pull open, but the drawers on her side you can get pulled open. The bottom was flexing, you know? So they come by because these screws were coming out. And what the other guys did was they installed another screw to make it sturdy, which was good for the top end, but it did nothing for the bottom end. So they came, man, lucky for me too. I didn't even, he was coming to put the mirror on. I said, hey, look at this here. Right? Save me a phone call. So we got that. And then the son's same thing, kind of thing, wardrobe closet and such. And I got a 5-drawer dresser, the tall one. That I was surprised that the bedroom's got tons of room there. I mean, even putting that 5-drawer in there, I mean, man, it's a lot. It's a lot big room. That'd be a selling point for this house if we ever sold it. And on my engineer, he might be asking. So we spent, I don't know, we spent that place 147, 180,000 peso, Philippine peso. Now we got this the closet for his room, wardrobe, whatever you want to call it. It at the bottom, toward the bottom, it's got a. It looked like it got chipped one time. So the thing went for. We got that for 30%. For 70% off for that. This stuff is reminds me of carbon particle board, which I think it is. Only the outer shell is a lot tougher. Not like that solder stuff, So I can understand why they assemble this stuff in the house. But this particular one was the floor model. This was 40 originally 40,000. I got 30% off on that, and a new mirror because one of the mirrors was broken. So that was it. Pretty good day. I'll probably go back there again. It's called All Home. Our home got one in the ball. And All Home is it's in Ampanion. It's a little bit of a ride after you get off that second bridge. You'll see City Hardware a few minutes down the road, and you got to go to this kind of like a turnabout. And that highway down there with Ampanion, they got It's just waiting for companies to build on it. It's extremely accessible, easy to get to. Don't think about difficult is when you're coming in and out because you're near St. Peter or St. Peter. What's that St. Peter? St. Joseph. St. Joseph. And there used to be a Greenwich over there, and they had a big screen on the outside of the building. People gather at the square before the church, public square. But that place has got so much business there. There's no parking, It's ridiculous. There's a ton of business. Wicker, like Hammock and all that good stuff. So the uncle's supposed to come in Monday, Nick, and I told him I wanted, we changed it, Friday, I came back to the original thing. I'm gonna have a dirty kitchen in there, then the rest is gonna be storage. Because we have no storage, my room, my third bedroom right here is my storage. This would definitely be a good seller. Got everything you want, and out back, we're gonna have a guy, he weeded, and some vegetables already.
So do you have a lot of visitors during the day, family?
No, he quite tight around here. One of her sister-in-law, she lived down the street, well, two of them, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. And, I don't know, go to birthday parties when you want to, If you have one for your kid, somebody might not show up. Just because, it's just,
But none of the relatives want to come and hang out in the new house, huh?
well, not yet. I'm kind of not in here all the way yet, There's a living room furniture, my son's gonna get him a bed. And I found a beautiful desk for this media room here, in white too. It's got contoured like an office furniture. But it is, it's nice. I forgot how much it was though. The Samsung double door deal, S74 or something like that. But the desk is there, but we gotta get the kid the bedroom closet area, bed first. Preferably with drawers on the bottom like in her. We got a ton of storage with the bed and the other one I bought.
So do you have a television, or do you even use a television?
Yeah, we got one, but we haven't hooked it up yet. Because we haven't gotten a satellite shit. So one of the brother-in-laws, her sister's husband, he's good with electronics and shit. I just want to be bothered with that shit anymore, man. I just kind of almost forgot everything I ever learned about it. But yeah, we'll do that. I'm sure he'll do that for us. He's got a sharp temper too, man. When we went to All Home, and I didn't know where to park it first. We tried to choose some close to the door. There were plenty of spots, and he was like, "Oh, park there, park there," like he's gonna snap. I said, "Dude, it's okay, but back this fucking truck up first, Then we're even in a better spot than you wanted. You don't get to talk to me and treat me like I'm. You barely get away with it with your wife. You ain't fucking getting away with it with me. Same thing for this dude. They come back working here. He's got to have his other skilled carpentry. That motherfucker. Every wall in here's got is wrong. High spots, low spot. If this guy was if I'm going to pay this motherfucker as a carpenter, how could you let work like that go? It looks like shit. I'm going to pay you more to make it look like shit. Yeah, I know they might take it the wrong way, but just because I'm paying you don't mean you get to fucking do what you want to do. But around here, you question it, you're the problem. Other than that, I just want to lay it down. I just want to lay it down. Let them know where I stand with that shit. These guys think that I know what they're thinking. They're thinking this motherfucker don't know nothing, and we're gonna milk this job. Well, this motherfucker does. It's just I didn't say nothing. I stayed out of their hair. Now when they come back, I'm gonna be sitting right fucking there watching. And don't anybody dare tell me that somebody watching them makes them nervous and they won't be able to do their work. Well, they fucking couldn't when I left them alone either. I understand guys want to make money. I knew all about that from the beginning. But you played me for a fool, you're fucking fired. Take the bus. I didn't pay for the ride home. I'll never do this again. I mean, I know Simon knows a lot, like he knows, but tell me, these folks here will stroke him out. What's up there? Is it nice and cold in Pennsylvania?
No, it's been too hot for me. It's been a mid to upper 80s like the last 4 days, and that's way too hot for me. It's supposed to cool off starting Monday, maybe in the 70s, but
You
it's
must
been
have
way too
dropped a
hot.
few pounds.
No.
So you'd rather have 2 to 3 layers of clothes on and sit there and watch TV?
No, I never need 2 layers of clothes. I mean, one shirt and pants is more than enough for me.
Oh, I gotta triple mine. Long underwear and clothes.
But my air conditioning's out in my house. I need to get a new A coil because it's leaking. And
Well, the thing is with some of these, that you notice with dehumidifiers, that they run nonstop the longest time, those coils, they get froze up, and then it doesn't work like it's supposed to anymore. So you gotta, back off of that shit. Around here, you run it most at night. Not too high. Well, matter of fact, the one in our bedroom, I think I turned the third time I turned it on. The fan was making the noise.
well, it's like
Most of it was-
Wisconsin. It's like Wisconsin. You probably need air conditioning maybe 1 month out of the year. August probably.
Yeah, 1 to 2 lately. But so this thing was making noise, and all of a sudden today I turned it on, I got lots of, well, I'm gonna let it. Something had to have fallen in. Boom, and it stopped. And I thought either the air conditioner blew up or it broke free of what was in there. It's good now. I tell you, man, cooling off in the air is a lot better than seeking heat. Cold temperature makes me a cranky son of a bitch, even more. Who we got here? Creative Monk is in the house. And my engineer's here too. We'll keep it.
Hi, Christian. Hey, Chris. How are you?
Hey, Chris.
Chris ought to be
Yeah,
getting close.
sometimes depending. It depends on what time of the day you got natural light or light bulbs where you don't see no imperfections. But when you move into a place, it looks like somebody else rented of it. Like it was, 2 or 3 owners down the road. That pisses you off.
Tony, how far away from your laptop are you sitting? Because the echo is pretty prominent.
I'm right here in front of me.
Oh,
I don't think I can do anything about that. Maybe I don't know.
No. no, probably not in a hollow block building, right? In a tile floor.
Man, it's hollow, so they pour a ton of concrete down. No, it's not a hollow floor. They're just gonna pour it down 10 feet, like whatever's below.
How high are your
Well,
ceilings?
let's see, just about what right here, 6, 7, or 8. That'd be 8, maybe. Maybe 7. It really, well, it feels the same as if I had out in my house back in Wisconsin. Now, I'm in an empty room, Chris. I got a bench here with my suitcase and a box of the water cooler that you can load that sucker from the floor. It sucks the water up instead of having to lift.
Yeah,
But
like
when I rip apart, man. Hey, when I rip apart, it's freaking loud.
I can imagine because it sounds like an echo chamber.
Oh boy, hey. I would have to laugh to myself. Maybe I could work one up here. Still
So
not
is it-
enjoying it, I might as well be.
Is it still brutally hot there?
Lately, yeah, the humidity's been, it's been around 37 to 39 C here every day for part of the day at least. But the temp, I could probably shut this air conditioner off, but the humidity is around. So that's the thing. You got 90-something humidity.
I was going to say it's probably too hot for you
Back home.
to sit out on your porch and do this, huh? Because we could probably hear you better.
Maybe okay. I got my shit hooked up again. Damn near empty. My bedroom isn't empty no more. I'm so shocked at how much room I got. I was anticipating this, still a tight squeeze when I'm gonna put all the furniture thing. The bed we got, we did get off on that thing too. We got like 30% off on that too. That was 20 something.
Yeah, what kind of mattresses do they sell there?
Well, I don't know. The one I got is a pillow top, which sucks, but that's what was with it. I'd rather have the kind you could flip, but I've slept on those too here, or you could feel the springs, pointing in it. But the pillow top, she went out and got some sheets for it, bedding, and they only bed that thing in the pillow top part, not the entire thing. There's no box spring. The
Yeah.
bed,
So
the bed itself,
do you sleep okay, or does it hurt your back or anything when you sleep on it?
I haven't slept on it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe I will tonight. I don't know. But the pillows she got are they're like nothing. I got one in here. I'm gonna take over it tonight. But I've never seen bedding like that before. It's got to be correct if all you're doing is putting the sheet and other stuff down on the pillow top. All that's being covered is the pillow top with the bed. Maybe that's where it's supposed to be. I don't know.
So there are no box springs, huh?
No, not on this particular one. I didn't get into the history of them over here, but I was telling them I had a pillow top before, and I got it in one of these stores where people return shit, Sears out. Well, they must have turned it back in for frickin' bed bugs because either that or the apartment complex had them. I had the bottom meshing or whatever fabric was ripped, so it allowed whatever was in there to move out. That cost me $700 out of my pocket to fix that problem, because those things can't survive in heat. So they got the temperature up inside the apartment at 100 degrees. These things, kill them wherever they are. Then they put this little minute, extremely fine powder glass powder. And with them little buggers are in the receptacle, they cut them to death. But so that all I can do is turn this thing clockwise, counterclockwise. That's all I can do. But
So, Chris, I thought, are you still planning on making your way over to the Philippines this year? Chris?
Who?
Chris
Chris.
Monk.
Yeah, I'm gonna go party and be back when he's here. Well, if he wants to get away this year,
Can you try taking your laptop like into your bedroom and see if there's still an echo and like there?
nothing, man. I was on my way to the toilet, but
Oh, there'd really be an echo in there.
well, I don't want to drop a deuce, just pee. You mean you don't want to hear no grunting? Okay. No, I'm in my bedroom.
Okay, yeah, that's much better. It's not empty, that's why.
Well, okay, here. We're on top of my dresser. That means I gotta turn the air conditioning on. So if I have to move this, I'll have to get the chair out of the bedroom, other room. Bring it in here.
Are you the only one
All right,
home right
I'm
now, or?
No, the wife and son are sleeping. Too
Oh,
bad my camera don't work. Geez, you'd like this. I got tap a kid in the right now.
maybe Chris can help you figure out why your camera's not working. What were you doing? Running water or spraying air freshener?
almost ready. Refrigerator is nice. I got this inside that like 3 sizes. Celsius is about 30. Looks like you had yours in the phone.
Did you flush?
Oh, yeah, it's calling it yours. Look, I mean, you got a big turd, you got a chop it, you need a turd buster. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Got the pooch outside to survive
Yeah.
the number.
I was going to say, I thought I heard a dog bark.
I think somebody killed him. He's a strong dog. He this one gets the ticks too, you know. But I didn't know what to do with the other one. You know, you would think in the country that has a lot of wild dogs and cats that you might have a flea collar to carry them. Not where I'm now. So I want to go to the. They got a nice huge cage, like 6,000 pieces. You know, there's a smaller one for 4, but I like the 6. So I'm going to ask them. They got some spray, so we can just spray his paws every day because we could be out there a half hour, 45 minutes. On an egg.
Wonder how the street dogs survive all the time.
Well, I don't know, man, because I went by the rooms today, and this Irish setter, I was thinking about, you know, bringing him over here to eat him and all that. And he, yeah, I look at all that setting shit there. And it's like, what was I saying? What was I talking? What was I talking about? I forgot.
Talking about an Irish setter.
Oh yeah, I saw him again today. And half his back is all no hair no more from the ticks, man. Please, you know these dogs, no matter how bad shape they're in, they still look at you like you're the last fool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just think I think somebody killed him because he was excessively jealous too, man. He if somebody walked the other dog like I got now, his name or Billy with Bobby will walk by him, and even if he's resting, he'll start growling and attacking him. That Billy's his brother, and he failed. He's the one that created a monster because the Bobby was the weakling of the crew, and what Billy would do was he'd bark at him, scare him away, and the dog would go away. And when it came back, he started biting him. Well, Bobby didn't forget that. So, you know, every time he felt bothered, he'd sink his teeth into the Billy. So that's what you get. But if I got up, if that dog was sleeping, and I got up, he'd get up and follow me everywhere I went. You know? Man, you know, I mean, his sister supposedly got hit by a car at St. Batch. I don't believe it because what happens when somebody hits a dog here? They drive around it. I find it hard to believe that somebody drove around it, came back, and picked it up. But anyway, yeah, setting and chosen. Yeah, I went to every one that would pertain to video, and there aren't that many options too when you get. So, how? I mean, normally when I log off of that one, I hit to leave the studio. You know, settings down here doesn't do me any good. A virtual background, general camera, a mirror camera, touch up appearance, camera resolution, integrated camera. I mean, that's what it came with. It's the only built in. It's the only camera option on here. I got a Logitech. Years ago, my friend told me, well, man, it's pretty good. You can even see the forest. So the Logitech one is in one of my buying boxes. So I think we're gonna give these guys some extra work here. So is it nice and cold in Bureau, England there, Mike, or Chris?
Yeah, Chris, I hope
I
your
gotta go there
temperature's
once.
cooler than here.
Oh, fucking shut up. You just say that shit to get me riled up, man.
We've been in the upper 20s here, Chris, the
Hey,
last week.
you know what state I'd moved to in the north? If I had family, it was Maine, up near the Canadian border.
North Dakota.
Well, you're next to a peaceful neighbor for one. And I've been to Toronto a couple of times, but not any other part. I'll be making it to Vancouver when I fly back from my son's wedding. Yeah. Matter of fact, you and your wife could come there. The wedding crashers keep them.
What's that, for your son's wedding?
Yeah, September 29th, that's a Friday. I'm staying out by the airport, man. I'm going to get a motel out there, whatever hotel. Where they're having their thing at, there's a building that used to be a warehouse. There's a lot of warehouses around there near downtown. And that's where everything was happening. They built the city. And
how far is the wedding?
Hotels.
The wedding. How far is the wedding
It's
from the
called
airport?
Crazy Horse. I don't know. 12, 15 minutes. There's no other places to live, to stay at. Only downtown Milwaukee might have three. One's extremely expensive, the other one's who knows. But I'm near the airport. I won't be leaving that day, but I'll be closer to where I'm staying. My son doesn't realize it yet, but he's got to come pick me up from Chicago. So there's a cheap weekend for you, man. Just get dressed up and you show up.
Oh, you're flying into Chicago, huh?
Yeah, always. Yeah, very, very, very seldom do they go right to Milwaukee. I don't even know how they classify these international airport shits. I used to fuel airplanes there part time. We had a couple of once in a blue moon, man. We'll have a Cathay Pacific, and when I was fueling out there, when I was working there, the international terminal was fucking like in a breezeway, between your house and your garage and your house, and it was, it's like a joke of what do you call it? But I thought, well, one time last year I said, oh man, I showed up at 11. My flight didn't leave till 2. Thank God I did, because they had all this shit grounded down there in O'Hare. And I got on the earlier flight because there was room. If I would have waited till that one I was supposed to catch, I'd have missed all of this stuff, you know. But yeah, I just can't deal with I'd rather have the air on like right now. Man, I can't deal with the fucking cold, man. It just right off the bat, you know, when I wake up here, it's like when I was a young kid, and I didn't have to wait till 2 o'clock in the afternoon for it to be 80 degrees. You know, I wake up and it's there already. You know,
Are they get
you know,
married on a Saturday,
Friday,
the 27th of
Friday,
September.
I think 29th, something like that.
No, 29th is a Sunday in September. So
Okay, it's 27 then.
yeah.
So
when
that
you
oldest
flying
daughter,
in?
no. Oh, no, flying in. Shit, I'll be there on Wednesday. I'll make it there on Wednesday night.
And you're just staying till when? Like
So,
the Sunday after?
shit, I think I leave on Monday, and I get here on my birthday.
Your birthday's
So,
the 25th?
October 3rd.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you lose a day going back home.
Yeah, well, I'm going west this time. I probably should have stayed with it too, but I always wanted to fly Philippine Airlines for, you know, well, other than the commute plane there for an hour and a half. By the time you get up to the flight level, they're announcing they're descending. You know.
Right. The one from Manila to
So
Butuan.
what I think of, well, I got my suit at Just for Men. It was supposed to be a cheapie. Well, for me, it cost me $400 some dollars. These dudes, like Ronald was saying, I showed the guy the tailor. I lift up my arms. I go, hey, look how much that rises up on. He goes, you ain't supposed to do that with that. That's just fine the way it is. And then I had two ties sitting there, and one was $80, and the other one was 20. I said, no, I like that 81, you know, Washington D.C. kind, you know. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to wear my suit back to the Philippines because I don't want to carry it, you know, or have to stow the shit. I'll probably be in it one more time, you know, if it doesn't get lost. So, you know, it's a nice suit, man. It looks sharp. Well, I was on there 2 years ago when my daughter got married. I don't know if you were there or not, but I got to lose some of this belly. I'm telling you, man. Okay, I'm like 10 or 15 over what I was last year or 2 years ago. Heat goes out. Is that yours?
What? My what?
Oh, I see somebody came up. I didn't think you were there anymore.
Yeah, I might have dropped off for a
20
second.
degrees
Pressed
there.
the wrong button.
You know, when I was a kid, and I remember this, when I was grade school, we had sweltering heat, man. I mean, every freaking year it was like when May came. You know, when I was in toward middle school, we get an occasional 80-degree day in April. You know, and a snowstorm the next day. You know, 3 feet of snow, and then
I don't
when May
recall
came,
if we actually had air conditioning in our schools growing up. I can't remember. I don't
we
think so.
we did, but yeah, we did. I know. I'm sure my school was built. I was the first second grade class in that new school. I went to Catholic school my first year. My parents were hoping that they could pay me down, but that was not to be. So we Anyway, we had a court. We used to, the teenagers used to play football because they dug they dug deeper than that building was higher. I mean, there was a big. I mean, we first moved to the south side from the north side of Milwaukee, they had houses in there and they tore them down. We had a fire station, get the fuck around in there, you know. And the playground, my God, the playground was like a whole block long and wide. And I seen over the years, I caught a glimpse of it. They now increased the parking for faculty in that side. So who knows? I like my options though, Chris. You know, I like what I consider an option here is I would rather seek relief from the heat than from the cold, because when you know I haven't worn regular shoes in I don't know how long. You know, I mean, I feel like I'm dressed too heavy when I have socks and shoes. You know, experiences. I just when it was snow outside, I got no use for that shit. So I must have inherited the warm blood part from the family members from Calabria and Sicily, because you know the Scandinavian part of me, or Irish or British part. I mean, my great grandmother's name was Mary Smith. I'm talking about generic. Otis Lovelace. And that guy dude died when he was 49. My mom said he was an asshole. He come home drunk and demand that my great grandmother get out of bed and make his dinner, no matter what time of the night. So that was an alky, I guess. But you know, those folks came from England. Nobody in Ireland is named Otis Lovelace. I mean, nobody names their children. My mom's family, well, that's when the DNA shows up. It shows up from Dublin and was that Glasgow or wherever they got a shipyard there in the southwestern part of Ireland, and a lot of I'm sure there's Austrian in there with the Tyrolean, with the Hungarian, Italian, Tyrol, they call it. But, oh, man. Yeah, I wish I knew, you know, I wish our family would have been tighter, man. Where I knew more. When you say you see my name on the last name on the side of trucks, I've never seen it on nothing but a police report or a report card. The way people are today, the vibe you get from them are like, ah, fucking so what? It interests me because I don't know if my great grandfather had any other relatives except him and his brother. You know, his brother Jack is the one that Ciardi, the young lady I was talking to, her grandfather passed away just like 6 months after my father. And her grandfather was the son of Jack. His nickname, the grandfather's nickname was Sonny. And his father's name was Jack, which would be my great uncle, something like that. My grandfather's first cousin had the same name as that young lady's great grandmother. Great grandmother. Her name was Anna, and my grandmother became Anna Bosetti too. So that's like a third cousin to me. I saw a part of Facebook. They were talking about her, saying she was a lot of fun. Annie, her name was. He only had heaters, huh? I mean, fucking, what kind of life, to me, I know some of you guys like it like that. But what is life when you fucking just you got to deal with the elements one way or the other? I find no enjoyment. And freaking my bones hurt. You know, if you got arthritis yet, probably not. But your 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 fingers, when you go to crack your knuckles, they feel like they're gonna break. That's how that feels. But I'm in a good spot. We haven't had a tremor in a long time, but so you get about 45 degrees by you people.
No, it's supposed to be 80 for the high today here, or 27 Celsius.
Yeah, yeah, Chris. Does iron? We lived in a place where it had like, I don't know if they refer to as coils, but it had like 4 or 5 different houses built in the early 1900s, I think. And coming from outside, just unbearably cold shit. But when you're young, you can weather the storm. I had a long way to go from these folks, friends I used to hang out with, like at least 3/4 of a mile. And I get home and I put my wet socks on there and my feet in there, to feel warm. And listen, I probably didn't tell you that because my friends lived on a street called Harrison, 8th and Harrison. So I had to run through a city park called Kosciuszko. So it's cold as fuck. So I'm in a hurry to get home. I've got to go to school. So I'm running through the park, All of a sudden, all these fucking cars come out of nowhere, man. They turn their lights on, sirens like fucking freeze, shit. I'm like, what the fuck? They said, why are you running? I said, fucking cold. That's why I'm running. Shit. Well, we had a report of somebody in the park with a gun. Well, I can bet you there's somebody from the bar on the corner probably called you. Fucking, cocaine for the high today here, yeah. Not here, man. None of this shit. I was talking about these workers gave me this little gift, when I bought all that furniture. And it's incense. I said, yeah, I used to burn that shit when I was young, and I used to get high, Oh, you don't do that now? I said, hell no, I don't do that now. Even if I could, I wouldn't. You know what the MO? You know what the MO was for a weed smoker and or dealer was when I was in the Army? If you parted your hair down the middle, you were a pothead. Little did they know. I used to party with an older sergeant, like an E6 guy. His wife, was a school teacher in Georgia. And he had a girlfriend around my age. And his name was Jay. I forget his last name. But I used to get high with him once in a while. He said, hey, why don't you go out with this girl here? Because this girl was getting serious with him. I think Jay was like in his early 40s, maybe. Then I was like 20, 21, 22. And I said, man, Jay, I'm just starting to get out of one, man. I ain't looking to get right back in. But they started testing. That's a good toilet, man. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't get the same stuff from you do. The guy, they just started testing, and they tried every which way they could to get me kicked out. I had like a year to go. I had this mess sergeant became a warrant officer. What do you do? Ass kissing, and they sent me to that testing the day after I did that. And I swear to, back then you could, now they have test, you know. Back then you go in the, you could have a little vial of bleach and they let you go to the bathroom by yourself.
Mhm.
And you go do your,
Sneak it.
either mine didn't come up or they must have had it mixed. Mine should have, I should have tested dirty, but I did. And I remember one weekend I worked in there in the motor pool too. Kind of split time with that. I got the motor pool job when the Spec 4 above me backed in with the ration truck. He backed into the mass sergeant's car. He goes, "How do you propose to fix it, John?" And he was my buddy Chuck. Chuck was probably 40, 45, 48. And John Self, his name was. He says, "Oh, we just gotta get a dent puller, you know." I said, "Fuck no, forget it. You're back cooking, man." So one morning we had this. We had civilians working there. One dude called up. It was just me and him, you know, until a certain time. And at first I panicked. I can't close the place, you know. So I got all this shit going myself, all of it. The condiments, everything, chipped beef and toast, you know. And when that dude heard, when he found out, he was surprised that I could have done that. I said, "Well, it's either shit or get off the pot there, man." So when the civilian guy came in, I sat on my ass when he did both. He did both the jobs. He did the chipped beef, and he did the eggs. He was doing everything. I said, "I made all this shit, you know." And he came into it a half hour after serving started. So
Hey, we had a story one time. A guy did the piss test, you know, for drugs, and he like you said, nobody watched you, right? So he went in and he used his girlfriend's urine, but so they gave him the results. They said, "We got good news and bad news." He said, "What do you want?" He said, "Give me the good news." He said, "Well, you're clean." He said, "What's the bad news?" He said, "You're also pregnant."
oh, man.
So they kind of
Dude, we had guys.
cheating.
We had a guy that was a spec 4 already, you know, like corporal, and he got busted smoking weed. They sent him to a retraining gate. I think he went to Leavenworth there in Kansas or something, and because he was staying in the army. And at that time, that wasn't, you know, I couldn't deal with that. I didn't want to deal with that shit. In hindsight, to make rank, if I'd have got in a tanker, you know, or what it would make rank fast, you know.
Oh yeah.
Because when I did the simulator, infantry and tanks, artillery, when I did that, we had a simulator. When I got out and went to reserves, there was a tank simulator. I was nailing these fuckers left and right, man. You know, load, shot, boom, load, shot, boom. All these weekend warrior guys were freaking out. Boy, they got pretty fucking good, though. But in hindsight, I probably should have not gotten married the first time. And well, could have, should have, man. It ended up like it ended up, so it ended up good anyways, you know. But without affecting other people's lives, that the other way. That turned out pretty good. That turned out pretty good for me. I'm happy with where I'm at where I'm at this point in life. Yeah, dude, we had a civilian secretary. I just asked you ever seen. Look at Nancy. I think her name was Nancy. And when I wasn't busy, she'd say, "Hey, could you go pick up my husband's dry cleaning?" Her husband was an officer. So I go zip right off post, you know, down there in Fort Sheridan, Illinois. I go down and get it. I'm back in like 12 minutes. You know, all these MP dudes I knew, because when they see the sticker, the officer, when they got to salute the car,
Yeah.
So I always fuck with them when I went in there and do that, man. Yeah, baby. Somehow you either saw or you heard, and that was no more after that. So I'm over at Lake Geneva, you know, where the Playboy Club used to be, and
Yeah.
my friend's uncle's got a membership, and we so I'm out there. I got my field jacket on because I got a liner. I'm warm, you know, but it was my duty jacket. So there were a couple of those same two fucking MPs that I used to see all the time. They ratted on me. I don't believe in fuckers, you know. You got a life or what? You know, all anybody ever had to say to me was, "Don't do that once." You know, they just, you know, I don't know if they're trying to score points, but so we stole beer off this tour bus, man. I don't know whose it was, but it had cases and cases of freaking beer. Brought open containers into the Playboy Club, and they would bring us glasses. That was a good time, man. Good time. Man, that was a good time. It was rough, man. It was rough growing up and being an adult, you know, married, having a responsibility at the same time. But I always did what we were supposed to do as a father. I passed up on shit I could have had, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Never thought I'd have to do that, but like I said, man, good for me. I'm here right now today, where I'd like to be, where I'm happy to be, talking to people that I like. Yeah, I do it over. Yeah, you know, when I get married that first time, like shit, what the fuck did I just do, man? And I was born with some God given sense. I used to fight to have to use it. But then ain't nothing in the world. So Simon says he's got the what do you call it going on? The bird
Pigeon
season,
races.
whatever they call that stuff. Pigeon
Racing
races,
season.
yeah. The best kind of race. When I worked at the factory, there was a woman there, and there was a club. Nice building too, man. I think the building was in the 20s. It was it used to be a garage, a mechanic garage, but she was homing pigeons. They call them here. I don't know the same thing there or not, but she belonged to a club. So at that place I worked at, they don't produce in Milwaukee at all no more. They got some kind of building over in North Carolina, the American operations. But you know, I'm glad I'm not. What happened to me when I walked out of that building? I didn't have a job set up. I just put myself on the list because I was guaranteed my wage for a year. Then I would have had to drop from $18 an hour to 12. And I said, no, I can't do that shit. Momentarily I can. So I went to the transit system. And thank God I did. Because I wouldn't be here today. I probably would have died. It was $800 a month, I probably would have died. You know, all that shit that I eat and drink. But it was a blessing in disguise. You know, I didn't think much about asking about pension. I was 23 years old. 23 when I went there, 22. 23. Like, I don't know. Fuck. Ask any 23-year-old about pension from his company. It was good work though. It was real good work. A lot of friends. A lot of high school drama shit, but yeah. So my tolerance for dumb fuckers is um, is like zero. I mean, just the type of people I'm talking about is so they know what they know, so they feel you should know what they know because it was easy for them to know that, learn it. Yeah. What are you doing? Sitting there eating your sandwich in the toilet?
Hmm? What?
Are you sitting there eating a sandwich in the toilet?
No,
Oh, not now, huh? You
not anymore. No.
got 3 million in the background. What could that three be? I'll be glad when this shit's over, dude. It's like a never ending. After they build that part, then it's down to the grading and concrete. Although all they're building for me is a dirty kitchen, which my wife's been asking me to put cabinets up. We got the concrete, you know, counter thing. She wants me to get um, cabinetry, plastic from the hardware store and put that above. I said, well, that look kind of goofy. But that's what she wants. I mean, some sections are 5,000 a section. So I probably end up putting that in there. Hmm. Oh, I'm down to two, man. Yeah, supposed to freaking end of May coming up here. I gotta put in for my extension. So I probably should start that 13A visa paperwork thing. I've been here over a year. I don't know if that mattered. Before that, I was here 6 months. I think they can still process that shit even if you're not in town. I don't know if it's 1300 or 1500 bucks. I forget. Maybe somebody here would know.
What?
You're not here, huh? Chris is here, but not. Chris is here, but Viking's not. Well, yeah, I got my what do you call it? San Miguel Super Dry, Bill Pilsen. Super Dry is nice, man, because if you're drinking a beer that's got a bite to it's only momentary. When you swallow it, it goes away. You don't. Budweiser tried this once. When I used to go up to a bar near my house called K Ranch. This old man owned it, and son took over. And over the years, he expanded it. Oh, beautiful too. New bathrooms, all this shit. But that Budweiser, there was a salesman, and this how's that taste. And it's well, the taste goes away after it touches your tongue. So they never did anything with that beer. Discontinued it. Tomorrow, Saturday, every day's a fucking holiday when you're retired, man. I gotta ask my wife every day what day is it. Yeah, I'll feel like Saturday and Sunday, man. What do you do with your day, Cuba?
Normally,
Do you have a regular schedule or something?
not really. A lot of times I get up and I drive my daughter to school, to high school, and come home and I go to the gym. I come back from the gym, I make my lunch, I eat lunch, check the news or whatever on the internet, and then I go take a nap. And then by the time I'm up from my nap, my wife's usually home from work. So, and then our daughter comes home from school. Yep.
That's the youngest kid you got?
The youngest, yeah.
My guy seems he does better if he's helping the students than when he's helping himself. And he doesn't help himself. So he wants to be a teacher, which is he'll be able to do that with the account I have for him. He can be wherever he wants to be with that. But choose wisely, You can only do so much, man. Whether you decide to follow it, that's a whole different thing. Gotta get you a beer. I wish I had this. Wish I had this camera working.
Yeah, it's just a matter of something. It's something in your settings.
What's that?
I said it is something in your settings, probably StreamYard settings. I don't know about it, but
I looked at all that shit.
Well, you need an outside set of eyes to look. Like Chris was saying, if you download some software, you could have someone like Chris remotely get in and fix you in a matter of 2 minutes.
Yeah. Christian too.
There's software, he said.
I just got all these other things that yeah, I know that one. That's what the scammers try to use on people, the Indian scammers. I just having a camera at this point in time really doesn't not a priority for me because I still got this building thing on my mind. One of the guys that lives here, he's out of town right now, but he's the one that cuts the grass around the house, the wall. And that's he does a good job too, and he does it about 5 or 6 feet from the wall. That's a good. Whether I'll be able to paint, I probably won't be able to paint that till next year. I was wondering, maybe you'd know this, but kilns and all that they form a barrier to limit or eliminate moisture or water from getting through the brick. If you paint, it's kind of like a primer. I don't know. If you paint with that, is there any need to go over it with paint? Questions to you.
Me? I don't.
Yeah, you.
What are you talking about? You have your regular hollow block and they paint to make it waterproof, or put some rubber type
that's what
coating.
Kills.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be exposed because.
Oh. You could probably paint it only if you don't like the color of what the waterproofing stuff
Well,
is.
it's white. White is white. I mean, either bright white or it's eggshell white. But here I go for bright white. It reflects the colors, the color white. And, the house is blue and all that shit, so it'll go around there good. But they got to
So
skim coat that stuff. So
when do you think you might get gravel for a driveway?
I have no idea, man. Absolutely none. Probably later on this year, later than sooner.
So do you have your
Well, I'm
truck
gonna have the
pulled up?
concrete.
Do you have your truck pulled up to the carport now?
Yeah, but
Under-
you ain't getting that truck in that. No, man, that ain't. If you park in there, you better damn well make sure you're the one opening all the doors, because there's going to be dings and chips if you don't. I think that would just be better off with getting some kind of wicker shade that roll. The big you can roll it down, block the sun. Have a picnic table in there, and the other one, just put up a 4 posted or 6 posted shelter where you got 6 feet, 6.5 feet of room there to block it from the sun and all the elements and shit. I thought about putting it right next to the carport part that exists right now, but it would be too difficult angling that thing in there every day. That would all that does is give you another reason to be pissed. So I want to do it where I right now I come up the middle, I turn left, and then I back up a little bit so I'm all even, and I'm good. Then when I leave, I back straight across to the other side, of the property. It's not a lot, it's not very big, but big enough, So that's what I do with that. No, I'm not gonna do that, Chris, because that's like a constant filtering. You have like crushed gravel. Is it compacted? They what they call a bulldozer here is nothing more than a backhoe. So that ideally, yeah, that would be, but I all that water, it's going to run down that driveway. Somebody on the other side of the road. Well, they have a little bit of a culvert over there, so yeah. Monsoons here, like what, 2 or 3 days of non-rain, you're good. Even that Toyota I bought with the 2-wheel drive. That thing is so the driveway would be muddy, and the front tires would slide. But I'd look down and go, I'm an Eco. There's less horses, and I put it on the power selection. Must be a low gear because I could drive in and out with that shit on a muddy driveway, and I have no problems. Absolutely none. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do by the downspouts. Either that or collect it in some kind of rain barrel. We had French drains where the city I was living in. A few people did, because we didn't have gutters, which made it more park-like, which was nice. But then, and that too, it didn't have very many options when it came to water where it goes. They strategically placed these gutters, like 40 years ago. But in the meantime, they've paved and repaved. So it kind of changes what it was, when it first happened. The house next, I looked at one house with a French drain, but the basement with the wall was bowed. I thought, fuck that. I ain't taking that one. Plus, it was like the dimensions I had 2 previous houses. So, yeah, I forget what they call it. We've been a barrel thing, and my wife and my mother-in-law got the we're gonna plant avocado and some other lemon or some shit with rows of other vegetables. We're gonna have that same guy just weed out all the weeds because I wanted to buy these grades, these plastic grades, so you could walk in between, each section. They don't share the logic in there, but yeah, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing that with the drain. Because, I mean, it absorbs it here eventually, but we always have this fear of this thing. All of us have basements. That was the number one thing was, is this thing gonna flood? And 2 houses ago, it did with mine because the property, the floor of the kitchen overhung the concrete for the driveway. It was like a 2-foot overhang. And concrete gets all the mud jack if it's not cracked or nothing. But there was a hell of a draft, man. So I was getting buku fucking flooding down there. I replaced the carpeting all myself without an insurance claim. And cold as shit. I mean, it was well done. Whoever built that downstairs is just super. But what they did when they first carpeting, they glued the shit down to the floor. So okay, you have your dehumidifier on. When I put the new carpet in, I use tacking strips, and then they kick it with their tool and they tighten it up. So if you have another problem with flooding, it's easier to tear it up. When you got a problem with flooding, when you look outside, when you're in the basement and your basement windows, they got those little foot or so in a little what do they call them? They have that galvanized shit, and the window's lower than the lowest window. The window's lower than the ground, and when that window's underwater, you got a problem. We had a storm system for 3 days, sat overhead and dumped. I go down there, I thought it was in a fish tank. It was, so the next year I get out there with some rope, we call it rope caulk. It's styrofoam, not styrofoam, but on that type. They had inch, quarter inch, half inch. So I'd stuff that stuff down in there because I'm not going to sit there and fill up, 5 feet of fucking gap. So I stuck that rope caulk in there, not too deep. Then went over it with an epoxy, something that would stretch and shrink with the weather, So that took care of that. Yeah, I was gonna, man, but I can't do that with it. I mean, everything I do now is I do for them. I don't want them to have a problem here. And about 6 feet from the end of the driveway, I want to put up like an apron. So if by any chance that road expands in the future, we're good on that point. They require 5 feet. 5 feet from the side of the road. And the area I'm in is farming area. So all these stones that are mounted. When I get that, I'm gonna get some more crushed gravel and lay me out some, on both sides of the middle there. So it's high because my truck is a frame, like a real truck, doesn't have Unibody. So I want to do that. Then I have an apron there. What I want to do is I want it to curve down, not have that edge. Like, when you go up and down, you either drag, if you got a small car, you drag the front end through it or something. But the wheels of progress, you turn very slowly. I still got to find out where the water shut off is. If faucet malfunctions. Because here they don't have that. They don't have the shutoffs like we got. And I was explaining to her uncle, I said, it's a little bit comes from the outside, from the pipe, and then you got that thread, and then you got this, and if your faucet breaks, you can shut that water down. So no, they don't do that here. But I gotta find out where the shut off is nonetheless. Well, I don't know, man. I was gonna do that eventually because I've seen other houses with the gravel in the front yard, you know. Maybe a choice like that, but I think, golly, man. I might want to start doing oil change on my truck, although they got the one time the crushed the oil pan plug, you know. So you got to buy one that you can put in now all the time. It better be the same coarse or fine thread, unified national coarse or thread or thin. And it depends what the oil filter is. It's hard to tell if they've changed it. Oil. I went in the other day because I get 5 free ones. I get 5 free ones because they had issue with the air duct system, with the air filter, with dirt getting by there, dust, and causing the sensors to malfunction. I haven't had that problem yet, but I probably should have got a little card, man. I'm telling you, because I don't even get to open up that truck. The most I can do it is 40, 60 kilometers. The pain in the ass. But when I had the 10, 15 W40, this time I could tell. Because when that oil's thicker, when you start it up, you can feel the difference in the motor run. I think they either didn't or they put in a lighter grade. That they got that canister oil filter now in a lot of cars. Where it uses the same housing, except that the guts. You replace the baffles, the filter paper part, and what else you replaced? Oh, the gasket that goes around the oil filter and the inside. The one after the screw on. The spin off, they call them. So that leads me to believe that there's it's got the newfangled one. And I just changed my oil about the 3 months because I think I'm at 600 kilometers now, or 7. But when I checked that oil last time, it was still clean. But I do 3 months regardless. But it's just, I'd like to know if it's in my peace of mind, I mean, the dealer could go, yeah, okay, we're giving this guy a free one. Fuck them. And plus, dealerships give it the cheapest oil they can. But 1540, I mean, that's why I could tell when I checked the dipstick this time. I could tell it's not the same. It shows up a little bit more. But anyway, Automotive Tech 101.
It's diesel, isn't it?
So you're not, yeah, it's diesel. Yeah, you know what? I looked at the owner's manual. I was paging through it. They don't got one fucking page, period, about changing oil. What oil is the best for whatever season. This truck was made in Thailand. I know they don't. When they get a 1530, these engines need something to be, lubed. The thin shit ain't gonna cut it.
Just look on Google and Google what's for that
But
year,
that's the
make,
first
model, engine.
that was a shock to me because I'm thinking, okay, usually they show you that diagram. If your temperature is this, then put this in. But I don't think Toyota's had a problem, but Mitsubishi, they had a weak crank. And you put up oil like that in it, that crank is not up to snuff. You could break it easily. And the 2025 truck came out, freaking cool looking. So is the Toyota Tacoma. I don't know about. Yeah, you know, that grab would probably keep me, well, see, me thinking ahead, man, I don't think kids throwing fucking rocks around the car. But that, ideally, that's what I want. We'll just have to see. Well, I mean, right now, my mindset is on paving the driveway, and it's 145 square meter paving the driveway and the front of the property, in front of the house, from left to right. So I'm probably looking at next year. Or paving it whatever way I'm going to pave it. Because even if you have the crushed gravel compacted, like was that lava rock or something? It stays, you know, unless you come along with a shovel, a spade shovel.
Tony,
One thing at a time, though.
when you build your own house like that, do they tell you what your taxes are going to be every year? I know they're pretty low, but
No,
nobody gives you an idea.
No, what they did, I wasn't here. The mother-in-law was here. What they do is they might jack your taxes up if you have more than one outlet per room. And I thought to myself, fucking cares? I like options. You put one on each wall. I don't give a shit. But the guy came, the guy was looking, oh, you got 4 in here, you got 4 in here. You know, they want to check and make sure that the air conditioners can run off of the what do you call it? Is it 2-phase, 3-phase? They do it different here. So they test the current coming in, going out. But still, options. This place here, the way it sits with the land, and I'm glad I took that extra lot because the entrance to the other side is not that great of a lot of tight shit, a lot of maintenance. I would have had to have maintained the entire road that the seller put in. I wasn't too keen on that. But, you know, it'll be all right. Should be. You got her. Shit. Yeah. I'll have to see, you know, and they don't have gravel coming in one of those trucks like we do, like you see twos, TEWS, you know. They do it by the bucket. But I do not know if they consider, like we do, blacktop being a non-permanent and concrete being a permanent fixture. Don't know if they do it that way. But even if they did, it's, come in your body. You come in here, look at this house, man. You got space in this fucking master bedroom here. You got your own bath. Well, nice. I thought about building that extra living room, but the bottom line is I need storage. And having a bigger living room don't get me that. I bought a 75-inch Samsung UHD smart TV. uh, the council to put it on. Might have it wall mounted. These guys tried to get me to do it initially. Well, it's good for earthquakes. And then after I looked at it on top of the whatever entertainment that it was kind of close to falling off. Not anything with a vibration probably would have knocked it over. I just do not like, and I don't understand why people that have a TV hanging higher, they don't put the receptacle out there to hide the wire. Shit, if it's 6 feet, 7 feet above the floor, you got this wire. It's just tacky, man. Don't look good. I don't like it. You got sun today, Keith?
Say again?
You got the sun today? Bright sun?
Sun? Oh, yeah. It's supposed to be about 80 degrees. Maybe rain a little later, but it's warm.
Doesn't it get cold inside? Doesn't it get cold inside that place you live in?
Cold?
In the winter? Yeah.
Not really. It's just like
My aunt and uncle lived
Wisconsin weather.
in the
Maybe
open.
not as cold.
Well, I mean, my aunt and uncle lived in northern Wisconsin and both passed away since I last visited them, about 6 months apart. And they live in they still call them trailer or a mobile home.
Right.
My uncle said it's fucking cold. So I asked my uncle, I said, he said, the bedrooms are freezing. I said, let's go downstairs to the ductwork. There's like a pan, it's got like a wing nut. You can adjust that. I said, they probably turned it so they would get more in the TV area, kitchen, living room. And I said, do you want me to go down there and look? Oh, no, I'll do that. I said, okay, I'm telling you, you gotta do this by feel, You gotta know when you're up and when you turn it, with your diverter, or your I call it a pie pan. That's fucking round and I said, that's probably why either that or your furnace is just shit. Because whoever they bought it from, they put it in a basement. So
What you got to worry the most about is your water pipes freezing if it's really bitter cold.
yeah, I think that's why the previous owner put it in a basement. You wrap them, you can put that styrofoam wrap. So the basement gets a little bit. That too could have been. That too could have been the cause. Now that I think about you say that, they might have had too much heat being diverted downstairs, or maybe didn't have enough in the entire system. That ought to tell you something. I found that out by trial and error one time. I used to see this. I used to see it in a lot of people's houses, including mine. And I thought, man, well, why is that like that? Why is there this pan? And I started looking at the duct work, and I'd see where the biggest of the pipes would be running. Not the pipes, but they call it shit. Like tinsmith. Anyway, I said, well, I'm more than willing to help them because I think they passed away a year and a half after that. And I forgot to bring my medicine with me. And I had to go back. I was going to come back. But I think they were kind of pissed at me because they misunderstood the conversation we were having. But anyway, I told my uncle one time, he's the coolest uncle. My favorite uncle because he was cool. You know, he had all the chicks and all the cars and stuff. And God knows he probably got 5 kids on the side. But uh, I told when my cousin Mark's dad died, I was sitting next to his sister, my cousin Karen. I said, oh yeah, you're. I was sitting with my aunt and uncle. They were across from me, and I said, yeah, your uncle. He does it. My favorite uncle. And I look up and I went, oh fuck. Yeah. I only said that to make her feel good. But the truth be it, they both were because their dad made me feel good. You know, my dad was an asshole. I always liked being around. You know, my other uncle, my dad's youngest brother, he was 81 when he died. He had throat cancer. And, he got throat cancer like 20 years after he stopped smoking. 'Cause I saw him at my brother-in-law's funeral, and then my brother-in-law was 47. That was about 8 years later. She had cancer. His ex-wife had cancer. Her name was Rosie, blonde. One daughter, about 8 years younger than me. And then his current wife, Rosie, blonde, had cancer. Every time they kept shrinking it and getting it, it would come up somewhere else. You know, it was kind of a hard. It's kind of hard to have a conversation. You know, I mean, when you're a kid, you know they're adults. So you know, when you're like 14, you know they're like in their 30s or 40s. You feel so far away from that. You know, being equals. But when you get older, you know, you are their equal because you're a full-fledged adult. I said, man, I used to think, I was born in 61. I used to think, I was born 16 years, I think, after the end of World War II. That ain't that long if you can remember what you did 16 years ago, like it was yesterday. So that thinking like that, and Korea too. I thought my father. I used to tell my ex-wife's dad. I go, yeah, my dad went in toward the end so you wouldn't have to get in any fighting. And I was wrong. You know, I didn't know at the time. My ex's father was in Korea. So was my dad's brother. He idolized him. He guy, smartest guy. He went in because his brother went in. And my Uncle Gene was in the artificial limb business. He got part of his leg blown off in Korea. And I ended up doing that, you know. My dad didn't go in toward the end just so he didn't have to face any action. I wish I'd have known this back then, but my mom said he was sick for like 2 or 3 months. By the time he got done with that, they had no use for, you know, sending him over. That was only, what, a 3-year war, something like that. Yeah, man, I think about them times, man. How, like, when you get older, when you're a kid, though, you ain't got those issues of the parents, man. Everything around you, you look at, while we were kids, a lot of people worked. You know, the traffic was workers going home. You know, we at Alice Chalmers in West Allis, Wisconsin, they employed 8,000 people at one time. 8,000. And throughout the years, you know, they gutted it. They had a couple thousand and a couple hundred, and I forgot who they sold off, or if they became part of Case, International Harvester Case in Racine, Wisconsin. But the idea that you churn out all these brand new tractors every day, are there that many farms? You know, so they built these strip malls, and it's like they gutted out the building. And I remember when I was a kid, man, you could walk a block and get a job anywhere. You know, you didn't like that job. My ex-father went into it. What was it called? He worked at Stratec, prison strat. We walked in there and it was just like that the room they had him in had like a 25-watt light bulb. And he goes, fuck this shit. He went out for lunch and he never came back. But everybody's dad lived, everybody worked, everybody had a good job. It was different when we got there. When we got there, when we were at 16, it was like, okay, 2 more years, man, I'm in. I got it made. I sweep floors for $10 an hour. Who gives a shit? So 7, I think the top wage in the last 7 in the 70s was 5 something an hour. But that all changed. That's why I went in the Army, man. There was nothing, Fuck. That when you have a kid and you throw that in there, you're like, oh man, what a fucking, put your nuts in a fucking crank vice, But here we are. It all worked out, but it's just, I don't care what Biden and I'll vote for whoever doesn't mess with my Social Security. Hey, did you notice, Pico? Did you notice lately that peso? No, of course you're not going to get that exchange rate when you go to Western Union, but close. It was at 58 something the other day. When I went in there and got $800, that paid me almost around 45,000. Where before it was 40, 41. Like, man. Makes you want to, if you have a boat, I don't have a bank account here. And I don't like fucking with that. That's just extra shit I got to report, man. I don't need the headache. If it cost me $5 to get 45,000 peso, who cares? But at least here, it'll be different. Anything else, man? You live, you have to spend. I mean, we're not all Nostradamus, How's the mom doing?
I'm getting ready to get off pretty soon now and go see her for lunch. She's still the same. She's bedridden, but I wouldn't be able to stand that, but I guess there's no choice.
Have you ever asked her what was on her mind when it came to all that?
Yeah, I try to talk, when I go there. Like, I went in, let's see, what was it, Tuesday? And normally when I go in, she's upset, because no one's there with her. But once you're there, she lightens up. But she was there and she was, kind of, crying a little bit. And I said, what's wrong? I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm praying. I said, well, what are you praying about? She said, I'm praying this is my last day. And I said, why? She said, because everything hurts. I said, well, here, let's
You're 99.
99 and a half. Yeah. She says, well, everything hurts. And I said, well,
yeah.
Maybe we'll get some lunch in, and we'll see, but she was better by the time I left, which always is. But yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be able to lay in bed 2 days straight. That would drive me nuts.
No, me for the bench I got, like a sitting bench, and they got my hip, my muscle on my hip, both sides. I gotta put something underneath it, otherwise I can't take that. I just can't take it. It's just I remember my friend's daddy. He turned 90 in June, this past June last year, I think. Yeah. I didn't think, he used to be one of our supervisors at the back. He goes, yeah, I get $2,300 a month. I go, $2,300, they put me late. When he was 70 years old, I remember I was at a bowling alley. And I said, man, if Tom just threw his 2 sons are bowling, boy, if Tom just threw that ball a little different, he'd have strikes. He goes, what are you gonna tell him? He's got a 2 fucking 40-something average. So he says he's seven. The old man, the Joe, just not the senior, but just Joe, because he was met a woman with a kid named Joe already. But my friend, and he said, "Getting old's a bitch," and he was 70 then. And man, last time I saw him, he goes, "I'm gonna be 90 in June." I said, "Joe, man, it's his son's." He's been Joe's father since he was 2 years old, and he finally told us who Joe, the guy I worked with, and I said, he's the only guy that's always been there for him. So how could he not feel about the way he feels for him? And he goes and names his kid, not a junior, just a Joe. And I said to Joe, the older guy, I said, Joe, man, I'm nowhere near as good looking as Joe. And I wouldn't fuck his girlfriend with somebody else's dick. She just, oh my God, just a bitch, man. A fat, fucking miserable bitch. And he says, yeah, Joe says he likes her. I'm like, get out of town, man. I think his ex-wife cheated on him. That's why he does whatever he does. I said, Joe, I'd rather have nothing than to deal with that shit. Because I could hear the chick barking. I saw them in a store once. She was in the checkout thing. And I went from that aisle all the way back. I could hear her fucking bitching at me. I'm like, I don't know what he's trying to prove here, but but it's just fucking. I'd rather have nothing than to have that. All right, man. Well, I think we'll wrap this up at 1:48.
What, an hour and 48?
Oh, 2 million. Yeah, man, we're moving up in the world.
All right.
If it weren't for the reason I know I'd be talking to you, and I wouldn't even have did this tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Say hello to the mom. Take her home.
Yep.
You can take her home as long as you touch her, right? Joe. I mean, Joe.
No. No.
If you.
No. No. She can't leave because she can't. I mean, she can't walk. She can't stand up. She can't go to the bathroom. So.
Is that from the broken? She had a broken hip.
Well, no, I think her hip surgery went fine, but her knees, her arthritis is so bad in her knees, she can't even get on her legs anymore. The only way she's out of bed is they have a little crane thing because they have like this material with 4 corner hooks where they're laying on it right in the bed, and then they hook these up to a hook. It's like an engine hoist, right? They hoist them up from the bed, and they have the wheelchair right there, and they lower her into the wheelchair. So that's the only way she gets out of bed is when they put her in a wheelchair. And then they lift her up again, to put her in bed. So, yeah, she can't even stand up. So
that's what's up.
I
mean, she can't even use a walker, or no?
No, no. She has not been on her feet for months. So. She won't ever, because if you're off your feet for months like that, your muscles deteriorate, because you're not using them anymore. So, and they never did the rehab on her legs. She never had any incentive, she kind of gave up on ever trying to stand up again. So that's where she's at. All right. We'll see you guys later. Christian and Chris. Take care.
All right. Tell her all your friends on YouTube are pulling for her.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Have a good
See
week.
you next week.
All right. Bye.
Adios. Mo.